Okay, we're back in the workshop today and we've got a Behringer Eurolive F1320. Now this belongs to the local synth group, which I'm a member of. As with all these things, it's had a bit of a hard life and it's developed a fault on the input. So let's just reposition the camera a bit and we'll turn it on and we'll see whether or not we can get this to display its problem. So if I turn it on, okay, so I'm just going to put a test tone in, and if I just bring the jack in, the tone is present, but if I push the jack home, you can hear that there's a big drop in the line and the power only going through the amp, and in fact if I drive it all the way home there's nothing in there. The other issue that this one has is a really clicky and crunchy volume power switch up the top here. So let's stop that now, turn it off, and we'll see if we can get this panel out. If I remember correctly from these before, this is just a freestanding panel with the jacks and the pots on it, and then there's just a link into the amplifier. So let's try and get rid of that now and bring it out, and then we can get it inside onto the bench. Okay, so that's the front panel out of the unit. There's just two screws on the front, and then on the back you've got one 6-pin connector, and there's also, I did forget about this, there's a ground, solder ground connection. So I've just trimmed that off now. I'll reattach that later on when we get it back in the unit. So next step then is take the knobs off, undo the jacks and the XLR sockets, and we'll get the faceplate off, and then we'll have a better look at what's going on underneath. Okay, so we're back with this board from the Behringer amplifier. I did manage to get the old jack socket out, which I hate doing these because there's just so much solder on them and you always rip the pads off, but I needed to, because no matter how much I tried to clean it, it just didn't work. So I've got that one out. I put a new one in. Because of the pad damage, I've had to do some bridge wiring, but now that's all back together again, and the jack is now working as it should do. I've also taken out the old volume pot, and I've got that up on the test rig here. I just wanted to show you how I test these things, because if you use a digital voltmeter, then it's really difficult to see whether or not the pot is dirty, or it's got some missing tracks, because the DVMs move so quickly and they change auto ranging, and it's just a pain in the arse. Whereas if you use an old style, in this case a vacuum tube voltmeter with an analog faceplate on it, as I now move this, I can move it as slowly as I like, and you can see that we can look at the progression of the needle, make sure that it's just moving nice and smoothly across its full range. I've actually put some cleaning lube into this pot, so yeah, and you can see that needle just moves nice and steadily, and that's just a much easier way that I find to see whether or not these pots are okay. Okay, so I'm going to now put this pot back into the circuit board. I think I'll do a little bit of cleaning on it as well. Everything else looks okay. Yeah, I don't think it's ever had any more work done on it. It might have had a little bit of work done on the top here in the past, but other than that it looks all original. I'm not even going to bother checking any of the components because as far as I'm aware it was working absolutely fine. And then we'll take it down, put it back in the unit and see whether or not it works. Okay. Okay, we're back again outside in the workshop. I've just put the panel back in. So let's switch it on. And we'll shove our test pan in. And that's now working as it should do. And the volume part also, no crackles. So that's a nice easy repair, and yep, we'll take that one back on to the next synth group and hopefully it'll last us a good long time. Okay, hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching.